We don't condone the use of any illegal substance or any illegal activity. This video is intended for instructional and educational purpose only. Watch at your own risk. Viewer discretion is advised.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
In the garden where the green leaves sway, see bunnies rolling up, we light it our way. Mr. Guinness got the bombs, we puffing all night. Talking cultivation, yeah, we're feeling alright. Light it up, feel the vibe, let it be known. Garden cultivation network, we on the scene. Rolling that green, living out the dream. Chatting about the strains, how to plan it right. Join us every week, yeah, we light up the night. Wednesday to Friday, we keep it alive. Cannabis talks, everybody's feeling high. Sharing secrets of the grow, it's a sacred art. In this cultivation game, you gotta play your part. Keep it real, keep it tight, watch the plants grow. Garden cultivation network, we on the scene. Rolling that green, living out the dream. Chatting about the strains, how to plan it right. Join us every week, yeah, we light up the night.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Yes, yes. It's been a rainy week here in Ontario. It's been absolutely insane. And it's going to rain for the rest of the week, too.
I know, we have crazy flooding right now. It's crazy. Roads are being shut down because the water's over the roads, and roads are being like broken up because of the water.
Yeah, you were showing me videos before the show, and there's like the roads are completely just they're gone. They're not even there anymore. It's a river now that crosses the road. It's fucking nuts. Absolutely nuts. But it is Wednesday, and you guys know what happens on Wednesday. Who did we have last week?
So last week we had Pigeons 420. So if you missed that episode, you could always go back and rewatch it or head on over to Garden Cultivation Network on Spotify.
Yes, yes. And we got our Instagrams and all that. You guys know it's under what we are, Mr. Gannick, Sea Bunny Grown, Garden Cultivation Network. And yeah, other than that, next Monday is 420, guys. We have a dope show planned for next Monday. We got tons and tons of giveaways. We got tons and tons of guests coming on, and it's going to be a hell of a time. So we hope you guys all are here for that. Hope you guys all invite your friends and stop by. It's going to be a party.
At what time, Ganix?
It's going to be so we're doing a collaboration with Dr. Dank Nugs, and it is going to be during his normal regular time, but the show is going to be here on Garden Cultivation Network instead of Dr. Dank. So it'll be here on Monday from 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. So definitely pull up, hang out, roll your blunts, get your bongs ready, and sit back and chill. It's gonna be fun. So, but always you got to be here in order to win. You can't just enter and leave and then expect that I'm going to come find you, because that's not what's going to happen. You have to get a hold of us when you win, because trying to find all you guys, some people aren't on Instagram, some people aren't on you. Well, everybody's on YouTube, but not everybody has like an account that they're posting on and stuff like that. So some of you guys are hard to find. So you guys got to get a hold of us. That's the only one thing that we ask for. So
it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So definitely stay tuned for that. And speaking of fun, we do have a great guest tonight. Who do we have, Mr. Ganix?
We got Mr. Tr3y Strongz in the house, and it's been a minute since we chatted with him, so I'm excited.
And it's free.
Yeah, Thurgood says it's free. The party is free. No membership fees, no nothing. So, but yeah, we had Trey on way back in the day, and the last time he was on, he was talking about doing his barbecue down on the beach. So we will definitely get into some of that stuff that he's up to with his cooking and all his different cannabis ordeals that he's involved in. So Could be a banger. I am ready. If you are ready,
I am ready.
here we go.
Happy Wednesday.
Welcome.
Heyo.
How's it going, man? It's been a little while. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you guys. Good to see you. I was jamming to that little intro video from the Instagram. I liked it.
Nice. That's Miss Bunny. She makes all those. So
Hell yeah.
the only thing is I love the song in there. The only thing is it came off a CapCut and YouTube does not like it.
Yeah, you got to pay different copyrights in different places, right?
Absolutely. Definitely. So it sucks when you get hit with copyrights right off the intro, but I mean, it happens. Not the intro, but like a couple minutes after the intro, you know what I mean? So
For sure.
oh, well. But yeah, do you want to let everybody kind of know who you are and what you do? And
Yeah, for sure. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Trey, aka Tr3y Strongz, aka the Elevated Chef. I don't want to give away too many AKAs because there's a lot of those going on. But I pretty much, and as well, I guess that was Bunny then. As so eloquently put, a lot of people I feel like probably know back in the day CLTV me. A lot of cannabis content. Initially in edible lane, mixed in with some grow me and homie content, and then kind of the birth of the Elevated Chef happened, which was always kind of there, but kind of segued off into a different channel. So we have like the medical recipes over on CLTV in a playlist, and then I also have Elevated Chef over on YouTube. Bunch of recipes for anybody who's looking for maybe something different to try as far as infused recipes.
nice.
But I have a strong background in cannabis. I owned and operated a hydroponic shop here in Michigan for 12 years.
I didn't know that actually. I didn't know that. I think I
Oh.
knew that you worked at one, but I don't know that I knew that you owned one. That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we had 4 locations. I was part owner operator of the location that I ran. But we were a little collective at the time. And we had 4 stores at one point. We kind of like grew to 4 stores right as the industry kind of started to boom and the home grower market shrunk a bit. And so I ended up closing that. We ended up closing in June of 2023. So and I just said this to my wife the other day. I said, I never thought that I would miss the shop so much because it was such a, anybody who works retail can probably appreciate that or has worked retail at all. But it just a lot of, think about all the information anybody in this range of my voice has had to sit there and try to find information on growing. While back in the day, you could just go in the grocery store and be like, hey, guy, let me pump you.
That's how you had that's how you
to
had to do it. There was no Instagrams and Facebooks and YouTubes and all that to look everything up on, right? You had to go to the grocery store in order to have those conversations. So
Yeah.
so
And like this,
you owned your store before, like a while before it went legal to grow, right? Like
yeah. So we were
recreationally.
open from 20 20 2010 to, I always have a problem with the 2000s, 2010 to 2023. So 13 years.
Crazy. And did you notice a big difference between the time that, like, during the time that it wasn't legal to grow to when it hit legal market and then all of a sudden all these people started growing, or
Oh, the market
internet already
definitely.
a big thing by then and kind of took over grow stores, I think.
Oh, you're muted.
Oh, you're muted.
Well, that's it. Let me think about that. So that was okay. Thank you though. Yes, there was definitely a shift, but it didn't happen instantaneously. It's funny because it preluded what happened in the hydroponic distribution line of things was a predecessor to what happened with the home grower and the industry. Almost mirrored circumstances.
Yeah.
Just different avenues. So when we first opened and operated 100%, it was tomato talk, and you better use the word tomato, and because you didn't know when the door was going to get kicked in, and
Yeah.
so that, in comparison to more and more and more people getting their card, more and more people growing. I mean, at one point in Michigan, we had over 250,000 listed card holders. So that's a potential for over 250,000 people to be growing their own cannabis,
Yeah.
So
that's a big number.
Huge number. And that's only the ones that signed the petition when they tried to shut it down. That's not including the ones that didn't.
Right.
So it's that time, now looking back, was sacred in a way, because only the ones who were brave enough to get in the know were able to get in the know. There's a kind of covet to it. But at the same time, more and more popularity happened, more and more need for knowledge, more in demand the hydroponic store became, more nutrient companies that you saw emerge. And our two main distributors were Hydro Farm and Sunlight Supply at the time. And once you started to see regulation in cannabis be changed at the government level, nationally, then you started to hear murmurs of companies like Bayer and other big pharma buying up big facilities for who knows what, to put a lot of lights in.
Yeah.
And as that same time, you saw big acquisitions happen, like that of Sunlight Supply to the big dirty devil, Monsanto's or Scott's Miracle Grow, if you will.
Santos
they bought
and
Sunlight Supply,
Hawthorne,
and turned it into Hawthorne. But what happened with that, if you were in the know, is underneath Sunlight Supply, you had all these. Imagine a farmer's market. Sunlight Supply was a distributor for all these different little brands that made all these little different, really cool Can-Am and these different companies that made really solid equipment that maybe wasn't the cheapest, but it was solid. You could rely on it. What is the other one? Hydrologic. Different ones like that. Like those are just a few. But like when you saw that acquisition, you saw a lot of those brands go bye-bye. And all of a sudden, a very similar product for a lot less money started coming out, and you saw Sunlight Supply drop Fox Farm and Happy Frog and different things. And then you saw this thing called Mother Earth come out, and you're like, the only difference is it doesn't have a frog on the bag,
Right.
So if you had the knowledge to understand what was going on, and I don't even know that I really fully perceived. I mean, I got it. I'm like, oh, it's a knockoff, but it's like they're trying to extract the companies, the people who were here initially for all the right reasons to make $1. Okay, you're not going to partner with us. Cool, we'll make a knockoff of your shit. See you later.
But that's in any industry though. But I think that industry, I just think, wasn't oversaturated yet. And you were right there at that time watching it become oversaturated, watching all of these other nutrient companies come in. Like at one point it was like Advanced Nutrients and General Hydroponics. Almost,
Yeah.
you could ask anybody what they grow, and that was almost going to be one of the answers, either
That was my
Yeah.
first
advanced nutrients
one.
or general hydroponics. And now all of a sudden, there's 10,000 different companies out there, and I think you're kind of talking about when you first saw all of that kind of changing and starting to happen. So yeah, that's pretty crazy, really.
Yeah, well, like I say, looking back at it, I'm like, man, all of these shifts really placated to what we're looking at now, even though we didn't really know what we were going to be looking at now, especially
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
Michigan market, but, and yeah, that's business. But I mean, my guy, like there's something about the community of cannabis that still kind of feels like this covet. So when you had Big Pharma slipping its greasy hands in it, you're like, what the fuck's going on here?
You
Like,
feel a little dirty. You feel a little
know,
dirty when stuff like that
Yeah.
happens, right?
you're like,
You
fuck,
can't help
Sunlight.
it.
I hope that check was fat, and I know it was, but you don't
Yeah.
you made a decision, you made an exit. Good for you. That's what business is about. But at the end of the day, you sold your soul and half of the community along with it. And so giving
Yeah.
way for all these other companies, China-based, I'm sure I don't have to list any here for you guys because you were in the know. I mean, so the point is like they came in, they sold out, and then video killed the radio stars. So like industry killed the hydroponic store, industry killed the home grower, so
Yeah.
like you saw all these things come to fruition, and it was maybe for the better growth of accessibility and consumption and everything. And I'm not gonna like small violin it about it, but like, man, there's definitely a certain amount of experience if you lived in that time at all, as I did,
Yeah.
to what it is now. And you're
Yeah.
just like, man, damn, okay, you know what I mean? And same thing with the industry when it came here. It wasn't instantaneous, but again, we built up to 4 stores, right? We're thinking the industry is going to cause because everybody can have 12 plants, and so we got to double up on all this da 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 da, and all that became was a
Yeah.
liquidation sale. You know what I mean? Yeah, Amazon killed the Hydro store. AC Infinity killed the Hydro store. Viva Sun killed the Hydro store. I mean, and
Yeah.
look, I'm all about conveniency. If you need it now, you need it now. But like, there's
100%.
something special about being that I need it now. I mean, the Hydro store wasn't even open past 6 o'clock, but like a motherfucker do, come get your dirt, come get whatever you
Yep.
need before you go into the garden tonight.
I don't know if you've ever tried to
Yeah.
order dirt, order bags of
It's
soil.
expensive.
I mean, you can buy your bag of soil for like $30, $40, and then it's like $175 for shipping. You know what I mean? It's like, what?
Yeah, that weight,
So
man. I will say I was in a lot better shape lugging those bales of Pro Mix around, though. You know what I mean?
no
That was a
shit.
free workout, work benefit. You know what I mean?
Stacking pallets of Pro Mix. Yeah. That's like moving bales of hay, man. That's like being a farmer right there. That's
Well,
crazy.
I mean, and like there was this really cool company called Potter's Gold. They were out of Michigan. Everybody loved them. They were $17 a bag. They bagged and mixed everything here. So like your dirt didn't have to
Beautiful.
travel far. So you ultimately got better results.
Well, not only that, but they don't have to sell it for as much because it didn't have to ship halfway around the world to get to you or to get to that
Yeah.
store, right?
Well, and even, I mean, making comparisons now is like back in the day, it'd be like, oh, because, when we had 4 stores, there was also other stores here. I mean, and that was the other thing. Like there was a store here, not here, but in Grand Rapids, which is like 40 miles away.
Yeah, I played hockey in Grand Rapids back in the day.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Growco. They had been around for 20 years. They had been around for 20 years, guys. They obviously had a lot of their clientele be cannabis based, but like they had a whole greenhouse, and they're in the middle of Grand Rapids. This is not rural country. They were like right on Michigan Street, headed downtown in this little side off the place. But anyways, they had a greenhouse and they had like bonsai trees. So like they were catering to hobbyist people as well.
Cool.
For 20, I felt really sad for them when they closed because I'm like, man, that's a longevity, and that was a big indicator for us. Like if they're closing,
right,
what are we gonna do? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it became this like race to the bottom. Like, oh, I can go here and get Pro Mix for that. I can go here and get that for that. And now that's exactly what the industry or the rec market is. It's like, oh, I can get a $30 ounce over here. Oh, I can get a $24 ounce over here. And it's like, yeah, okay, well, we can all race to the bottom together, and then we'll all be in the bottom of the bucket together. Like it's
Right.
like
Yeah.
there's no win-win here, you know.
Yep.
So
Hmm.
it's been an interesting perspective, an interesting ride, 100%. And honestly, the people that were in the community were part of that industry that birthed what the cannabis industry is now. Are not, you don't see a lot of stakeholders, decision makers, major operators who were people at that time who knew what they were talking about and were immersed in the culture. You see some people working for people, but not like that. You know, it's just it's
Yeah.
business. It's business.
100%.
And I appreciate, I don't know, I go back, I have such a tumultuous fucking relationship with the industry because I appreciate that it is a thing, and that I think ultimately it will help break the stigma because it's now more accessible, it's now more normalized.
Yes.
But again, I think that leads to so much more need for education because it's so much more accessible. There's so many more product types on the fucking market, and then
Yes.
knockoffs of those products. And as I was telling you guys before, like I feel like there's so many more consumers than there are just home growers or growers. And so as a consumer, like you're leaving yourself open, I feel like, to a lot of vulnerability if you're not educated. You know,
Absolutely.
come into
Yep.
the summer, go throw a plant outside and grow some shit. Even if it's some boof, you're going to have a better appreciation for what it takes to cultivate premium cannabis
Yep.
than you did
100%.
before. And you're going to be a lot
And that's it
harder.
right there. The appreciation for it.
Exactly.
When you can appreciate it more, it's that much better. You know what I mean? And you, like you said, you might throw a plant out there and you might grow some boof, but it's going to be the best boof you ever smoked
That's
because you
Yep.
grew it. You know?
it's like if you made a meal, it may not look pretty, but it's gonna taste good, you know, or it may not, you
Yeah.
know,
Absolutely.
whatever gift for tat. But my other thing is like, so then when you go into these dispos and they're selling you some bullshit and you think it's a great deal because it's a great deal, you're gonna be able to identify that product as just what it is. You know what I mean? And
Right.
sometimes it is a great deal, but sometimes you're getting sold some bullshit. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And you know, the other thing that I see too is this new generation. I feel like they don't have the appreciation for it like what we do because it is so available. They can walk to the store
Yes.
and buy
And
their
just
weed.
pick it up.
They can go on the internet and order their weed, where back in the day we had to go to the weed man and find our weed. We had to sit by the phone and wait for hours for the guy to call you back if he was going to call you back. There was a lot involved in just being able to put it in your hands back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the stigma back then, and you had to go to like deep in the forest to smoke a joint just to get away from everybody because it stunk so bad and people could identify it from miles away, you know, like I feel like that the appreciation just isn't there from this newer generation because they all got their vape pens and their dispensaries and you know, I don't know. They didn't have to go through the same nonsense that we did to get what we got. So,
Yeah. So what
100%.
made you go from owning a store to becoming an elevated chef? Were you already doing that kind of stuff when you had the store, or did that come after?
Yeah, I was. I mean, the store, I was owner operator, so I worked when it was really me and the other owner. We didn't really bring on too many employees, um, maybe one or two over our entire time there, just because there's a lot of cash handling, and you know what I mean. At the like people like literally when we opened, people didn't want to use their real name, so we had like a point system, and they would have like their profile name or like what's your name in the system. Like one of our customers, there was a wife and husband, and their name was Rat's Ass. I won't ever forget it because I think they did that so they would never forget it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But you know,
I
uh,
don't give a rat's ass.
yeah, exactly. But I was so Elevator Social uh, birthed in 2019. Obviously, CLTV was doing its thing since like 2015. It says we've been on YouTube since 2014, but we didn't actually drop content until a year later. So I did a lot of the medible recipes there, and supplied everything that I used for those videos, and everything was from my grow or a co-grow I was a part of at the time. So I always was doing tutorials of
Okay.
elevated cooking. But as far as like in-person stuff, like that didn't start until 2019. But in 2019, as we all know, was a predecessor as well to
The
COVID.
hell of a year.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a banger year. We started in March of 2019, and we were banging it out month after month after month, and then boom. And like
As soon as that momentum hit, right? You were.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, I remember last time you were on, you were telling us different stories about, like, you made chicken wings with a keef crust, and
Yeah, that's a
I'm
pretty
trying to think
infamous
some of the
recipe.
others. Yeah, I'm trying to think back to what you were saying, because you talked about a whole bunch of different things that you made, and then Rob was in the chat and he's like, "Man, I've eaten those and I was fucked up." He fucked me up.
Well, that video in particular, I mean, I don't think I've ever made them quite like that again, because it's also one of those things, like, think about your stash. It kind of always changes. I might have the same flour or this or that, but I don't have the same whatever. So like
Yeah.
with that recipe in particular, we cooked them off, and then we had like the infused honey, and we had the keef on there and the spice rub. And I don't know why my thing is like, how many layers of weed can I put in this situation? But you know what I mean? Like,
I think that's just something that you got to do. You got to try it, right? I mean, it's like anything else. Like,
well,
it's like with growing. I mean, we do all kinds of things, and after we think of, like, why did I do that? Well, because it was something to do. It was something new to try. You're
I
always
think
trying to
for
one up
me,
yourself.
and it's not just to get high. For me, it was like, because like the other thing is, like, now you see a lot of this infused dining going on. It's like crazy, but it's like, that's why no idea is original, right? And I would never say that I was the first person to do it by any means, but I feel like I'm pretty in the initial of, because like I've had people come, yeah, you taught me how to make brownies when I was in high school, and I'm like, don't tell your parents that, like, you were looking at shit you weren't supposed to, fuck, but I it was about figuring out how to meld different cannabis forms into the consumption. So like when you use the keef and the spice rub, it's not necessarily going to have any effect, because by the time everything's done, some of the effect might wear off. But what flavor does that impose on the spice rub? What texture does that impose on the wings? What, like, it's not just about the high, you know what I mean? Like, we baked
Sure.
off some of this cornbread that we had at one of the events that accompanied our chili that we made. And that's another recipe actually that I have on Elevated Chef, really fire. But where we baked the leaf into the cornbread, and it was actually a honey jalapeno cornbread. So like, just different ways to play with it and have fun. I mean, that people say, oh, I'm a big ass kid when I go on the dispo. It's like, yeah, like, I think there's a little childlikeness to all of this, even though you're supposed to be 21, whatever. Like you said, the majority of us started smoking in a basement or alleyway or backyard or house of somebody's that we knew way before there was an age limit to the shit. You know what I mean? There was just some shit that we wanted to try. And, touching back on that a little bit is like, because we all have this nostalgia, these memories with it, right? But there is this new generation. I call them dispo babies, and there's nothing. I'm not insulting you. I'm just saying, like, your first hit was from a bag that you bought at the store, or it was a vape pen that, you know what I mean? Like you were saying, like, it's a completely different experience than what a lot of us, millennials experienced. And so I think we have to hold those memories close to our heart, but understand again that just like our parents, like all our parents telling us about stuff how it used to be, blah 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 blah, and we're like, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I
And now
think
it's
we're
hit. Now
saying it.
it's hitting home.
It's us. It's us now.
Yeah.
It's us
Yeah.
now. It's us now. And so, like,
Yeah.
as much as I love those moments,
I think Trey just called us old. I think.
I'm
that's
old,
what-
bro.
I
Is
think
what
so.
I'm saying.
I know,
I
man.
hate to
It's
agree,
it,
but it's true.
it's crazy to
I
think
just
about, but
mean
you're
like,
absolutely correct.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's scary, but like, I don't know. My buddy put it to me this way, and he wasn't even talking about weed, but it resonated with me, especially now being a father and all these things. Is like he he was telling me how he was talking to AI, and I'm like, okay, and he's like, man, he's like it's like a friend, and I was like, I'm right here, buddy. What's up? What do you need to talk about? You know what I mean? And he was just like, he's like, man, he's like, he's like, I just don't ever want to be. He said, and both his parents are, God rest their soul. But he's like, I just don't ever want to be like my parents, where I don't know something that like my kid is like trying to know about, and I don't know because I'm just not. I mean, like my mother, I've been trying to teach my mother how to copy and paste since fucking 2006, y'all. Okay, you know what I
Still don't
mean?
get it.
Like copy pasta, Fuck.
Yeah.
So
That's funny.
just the way he said it to me, I'm like, you know what? Like I for real was kind of laughing at him before that point, and like, you know what? Yeah, because your kids are always going to come to you with, how do you do this? And as much as I want to, I got the pen and paper. I can handle that all day. But like, what is that new school look like? When my kid turns 18, what is his weed consumption going to look like? I want to
Right.
be knowledgeable to that to some degree. Don't mean I got to smoke it or I have to be a part of the devilishness that we talked about with business and industry and all that other shit, but I can still
Yeah.
educate myself and know that,
100%.
wow, man, I came up on a nick sack and a quarter of a sandwich bag. That's not what the majority of people are going to experience now. And
No,
wow,
nowadays they wouldn't even know what that means.
right.
Yeah, a
Or
nickel.
the old
What?
finger scale, all of these things. I mean, you know
Right.
what I mean? Like, I never want to throw those things away. You can't ever take them out of my history.
No.
But I think it's important to remain a student because you can't ever know it all.
For sure.
Definitely. Definitely. And I think once you've learned it all, it's time to pack it up. You're done. Once you're in that mindset, I know everything, you're done. That's it. It's over. So you touched on that you're a father, and I see your videos. I see you doing the dancing with the little man. That's super cool. I think that's awesome.
Yes.
How are you with the whole cannabis situation with him? Like, is this something that he's like, is it just 100% normalized in your house? Like, this is something he sees it and it's just, he doesn't even think twice about it. It's just normal.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I never, for better or for worse, he knows what it is. He's helped me. He loved it when I had my indoor lights on. We go out to the barn, we go water the buddies, and and he's at the perfect level for it. I got to bend over.
Right.
He's just, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, obviously don't have him trimming anything or anything, but like,
Right.
and,
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah.
even our outdoor, I've gotten, last 2 years have been, last year might've been 60-40, like food crop to like cannabis crop for me. And I've said it, like I was way more proud of my peppers last year than I was of my weed. And the weed was good, but like I just was like,
Yeah,
I got fucking green peppers, guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
it's
That's awesome.
it's super cool growing your own food, man. Like I did it as well, and I might do some food this year too. But I used to have a nice big garden and everything, and like I would go out there and just stand and look at it, and I was just as proud of my vegetables as I was the cannabis. The vegetables happened long before the cannabis, so A lot of people start with cannabis and then get into the vegetables. I did the whole vegetable thing first and then got into the cannabis. But it wasn't until I got to the cannabis that I really did any educating. You know, I didn't I didn't I didn't try to learn about gardening or nutrients or soil or anything like that until it got to the cannabis side of things. But I was the same with my kid. My kid's been helping me water my plants since he was 5 years old, so totally get it.
Yeah. I mean, the plant can't hurt you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so
If
the only
anything, it
thing,
teaches you because you learn about germination, which you need to know in anything you're growing, whether cannabis or not. You need to know about transplanting if you have any kind of plants. So it's definitely a good thing for kids to learn.
well, I mean, I don't know if it'll stick with him. I want to harbor it as much as possible. And either way, like
Yeah.
he, like when we were in the garden last year, he likes going out. I mean, he's 4, so his attention span isn't the longest, but like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, he got real excited last year. Our watermelons went bananas. It was retarded. Like I had like 12 watermelons. I was like, what are we doing? You know?
Yeah.
But it, it's just fun to grow something with something I grew. You know what I mean? And he was just
Yeah.
excited about that and plucking tomatoes. And I mean, I have some food knowledge, but really am not well versed in it. Kind of the reverse, like you were talking about, my guy. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, why are these onions not rooting? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like a noob, I am, when it comes to that. And I can see
Yeah.
where, those competitions where people are growing these 700-pound pumpkins and shit. Like I could see it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
could
that's
see it,
crazy.
But it's just like you said, it's somebody in the chat, I think, that like growing your own food, if you're not growing your own cannabis, grow your own food. You bite into a yard grown strawberry, it's gonna change your mind on the shit they're selling you at the store.
Oh my God, it changes your
100%.
life.
So like, and I don't know if y'all been at the store lately, but shit's expensive, and it's like less and less of whatever it is you were buying. You know what I mean?
And
Like
shit.
I swear the strawberries ain't strawberries no more. The snozzberries ain't snozzberries. I don't know exactly what is all in there. Some sort of lab grown something. You know what I mean? But like,
So I was at work yesterday. And our customer made us this big lunch. Doesn't happen very often, so I was very appreciative when it does happen. But they brought out these berries, okay? They had blueberries and raspberries and like blackberries and stuff like that. These fucking blueberries were like this big. These were the biggest blueberries I've ever seen in my entire life. And like I just picked one up and I'm looking at it. I was like, God damn, like it's bigger than a grape. I was like, I've never seen blueberries this big before. Like, how the hell did
They're
that
on
happen?
steroids.
GMO.
right.
Yep.
You said they grew it, or they cooked it for you or whatever.
No, they just brought it out. Like they had bought it
Okay,
at the market or the grocery store or
Yeah.
Because
wherever
I
they
was gonna
got them
say, I've
from.
seen
But
that shit too. You ever go to? Well, I don't know if y'all have it. If y'all got a Costco up there. My wife went to Costco the
Yep.
other day and got grape. Bro, this mother grape was like biting into an orange. I was like, why is this grape the size of a golf ball? Like this shit does not make any sense. Like why is it bigger?
Yep.
Bigger isn't better. You know what I mean? Like not in
Right.
that case. So yeah, no, it's. I mean, it's a lot of work. Farming ain't easy. There's a reason why.
It's not.
The farmers.
I have a lot of respect for those farmers, man.
Yeah, but the farm industry has taken a hit over the years too because they want to pay them less and less because they can go do it in a lab or they can go do it over here, make it a business over here. Like
Yep.
I got a buddy here who's a corn farmer, and you know what I mean. Like he's one of the very solely independent ones left in his area, and he's not even independent. He sells with 2 other guys, but he sells his whole crop for X amount because that's what he can get, and he's getting a better amount than other independents would get. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's tough work. Up at ass crack, down by sunset, back at it again. Dealing with livestock because they got cows and
They
shit,
say
cattle and stuff
what
too.
they say. You gotta make hay while the sun shines, right? And that's
I
they only
mean,
get a couple
I don't
seasons a year to
envy
do this.
I even said, somebody goes, "Why don't you get chickens?" I'm like, "Nope." Like I'm not that guy.
Right.
I can't.
You're
I'm
a
the
city
chef.
guy?
No, it's just I'm the chef. My brother is a big outdoorsman,
Right.
fishing, hunting, being out in areas, all him. Like he's gone to Alaska, thought he was gonna shoot a moose. I was like, bro, what? No. You know what I mean? Like all these things. And my whole thing is like, you kill it, I'll cook it. That's the
Right.
deal. You know what I mean? Like I'm not
Hey man, that's a great deal. You cook, I'll wash the dishes. You know,
Yeah, bro. For sure.
that's yeah, no, that's a good deal though, for sure. Absolutely. Do you get your son in the kitchen with you too? You got him cooking and stuff with you?
Um, we've cooked some stuff. We've cooked. He's a big outside guy, so I'm able to
Yeah.
get him in the garden a lot more than I am the kitchen. But he likes making stuff with his mom because my wife is the well, she's mom, she's awesome support, she's um all these things, but she's also the executive pastry chef for Elevated Social.
Mm.
Officially, unofficially. I
Nice.
know there's some
She,
people in
she
the
makes
chat
all the
right now
sweets.
that know know about the berry gelato kush cake, dessert of the century. Um, so that thing was crazy. That was at our event last year, the Grill and Chill, which is like our summer barbecue event. She
Let's
made
go.
this
Berry
blueberry,
gelato fish
raspberry,
cake.
and straw. No, not raspberry. Yeah, raspberry, blueberry, strawberry. Um, Soak cake, and then topped it with a cream cheese icing. Bruh,
Mm,
ridiculous.
me
Ridiculous.
Sounds
my
good.
wife.
But so anyways, he likes making stuff with her because she makes sweet stuff.
She
But
makes the good stuff. You make the
yeah,
dinners and shit like that, and then she makes all the
Yeah.
desserts. The
he
kid
knows
friendly
what's up.
stuff.
He knows
Yeah.
what's up. He's like, if I sit here and I make these cookies with you, I'm gonna be able to eat some of these cookies.
Yeah, I'm
But if
gonna be
I
the
sit
taste
here and I
tester.
make this frosting with you, then I can lick some of this frosting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
One of the things I was gonna say though, when you were talking about your son in the garden, saying, and he might not remember it. We bring a lot of guests on, and when we ask them how they got their start in the garden, what was it that made them want to grow? They always go back to when I was a kid. I worked in the garden with my dad, or I worked in the garden with my mom or my
Your grandma.
grandma or whatever. Grandma's a big one. I worked, my grandma taught me everything I know when I was a kid from a really young age, you know? So I think he will remember it. Whether you know that now or not, you'll know maybe in 30 years from now, he might be growing vegetables or something like that, and you might have a conversation with him and he'll tell you, I learned it because you took me out there. So I think that's super cool.
yeah, no, I appreciate that. As he's, I hope, I mean, I guess my only thing, we love cannabis, but it's a commitment, ain't it? So like, I
Oh
would
Absolutely.
hope
God,
that he
yes.
appreciates that, but I would hope that maybe he's into something more universal. You know what I mean? But
Right.
like
Yeah.
it's funny too, because when he's out there, like with our outdoor and everything, I'll be like, look at the buddies, and he'll be like, ooh, the buddies. And then because he's seen me do it, he'll be like, ooh,
Yeah.
smells good. And I'm like,
So my kid's 14 now. Well, he turns 14 actually on 420. So on Monday
oh
it's
shit.
his
Happy
birthday.
birthday to your kid, man.
Absolutely. I'll let him know. But so he comes in here. He doesn't live with me, so he comes here on the weekends, and one of the very first things he does is he comes in here as long as it's after 4 o'clock when the lights are on. He'll unzip the tent and he opens it up and he just stands there and looks at it. And the last time he was here, I actually caught him reaching in and grabbing a leaf and pulling it towards him and smelling it. And I was like, "What'd you think of that?" Like I just asked him questions. What'd you think of that? And he goes, "Well, it smells pretty good, Dad. This one smells like fruit, though. This one doesn't. This one smells like skunks, or." But it's super cool to watch them and just
Oh
see
yeah.
the reactions, and like you said, they react, I think, in ways that they see us reacting. They don't
Yeah.
really know how to react to it yet. So
I think if my kids started making like strain profile differentiations, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because he's super smart, but I would be like, who told you that? You know, um, just because. But yeah, no, I like I said, my bank of knowledge on cannabis is pretty deep. So if there's anyone I'm able
Yeah.
to kind of pass down to him, that's gonna be one for sure. But I've
Yeah.
told him, like, hey, your dad's a chef, but his favorite dish that I cook, real technical, is a what he calls a cheese bread, aka a grilled cheese, and
Right.
that's his shit. He loves it. When I sit there, because I'll flip it, and he's like, cook, 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 flip. And any bluey people, cook, 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 flip. And he loves a goddamn cheese bread, bro. He'll eat like 2 or 3 of them at a time.
That's funny. That's awesome. That's cool. So you were talking about doing events and stuff like that. Do you have any events in the works or coming up in the near future?
There's no dates right now set. It's funny when you said last time you talked to me, that I was planning for a barbecue on the beach, and that was one of our biggest events we had ever done. That was September of 2024, and we were celebrating 5 years of elevated social and 60 plus events within that time, which I ironically found out is
Damn,
an event a month for all 5 years. But
that's
sometimes it
crazy.
wasn't always like that. It was sometimes like 2 events a month or whatever the case was. But I always, oddly enough, took a tally of events just to show myself like all of these different occurrences and vibes that were set.
Yeah.
And so, that was either our 60th or our 61st. That was a big event, big venue. We had people coming from all over the country. It was what was it? A 10-hour, 12-hour event, something like that. And
Oh, jeez.
it was, I mean, but it, even though at the time, like, that's a long event, hopefully people aren't bored, but people chilled. It was a beautiful day. They were on the beach. There was bong pong and there was puff and paint. I had an artist friend of mine, Mama Tox, come up and do a puff and paint, and a lot of people enjoyed that. We had Native Cultivations, which is a indigenous cultivator here in Michigan, who they've been growing for decades, and
Millions of
really,
years.
really good homies of mine. Shout out to Mark and Tony and Selena. And had my very good friend Celtic Cultivation bring some of his just chef kiss hash rosin, and we did dab competitions and rolling competitions, and we did brunch and we did lunch munchies, and then we did a 6-course around the world sit down dinner. And yeah, it was a hell of a fucking day. It was a hell of
A
a
lot
fucking
of work, it sounds like.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
cooking.
It was a fucking production. It was a fucking production. I'm very I have an amazing crew, and I have amazing supporters who came through that
Oh,
day.
Goblin was there.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
for sure.
I was gonna say
And
you have to have a team because there's no way that one man can cook for that many people and brunch, lunch, and a 6-course around the world dinner.
yeah, no, I would never take full credit. And it was kind of crazy too, because I had to be running front of house and events and this and that. And then, I mean, I ain't even gonna lie. My cousin Vincente, my cousin Vinny, yes, I have a cousin Vinny. Shout out to my cousin Vinny. He fucking crushed it that day. Because there's been other events where he did the exact opposite. But that day, he showed up, he fucking ran it. And, me and my cousin grew up together. His dad, my uncle, again, God rest his soul, he was the closest thing to a father that I ever had. And he's the reason actually that I wanted to cook, because he had his own catering service and taco truck and restaurant throughout his life, and just connected people through food, and
Yeah.
anybody who knows culinary and cannabis, there's so many similarities. It's almost retarded, or whatever's politically correct these days. And um, and like there's nothing like sharing a meal with somebody, or I mean, and that's what made me want to be a chef. Like anybody, you know, it's cliche or silly or whatever, but the movie Ratatouille, anybody ever seen
Yeah.
that? Where an
Yep.
old richety guy takes a bite and he's immediately sent back to when he was 9 years old. I mean, the fact that a bite of food can transport you beyond time, beyond space. You know what I mean? You share a meal, you break bread with somebody, regardless of how far we advanced in humanness or not. Like that's to me a very deep thing. And so with cannabis, same thing. There's a ritualisticness to it. There's, you know, the sharing of the entourage effect. There's, you know, all these things. So um, it's a beautiful marriage that I find myself blessed to be a part of, you know, and again, just
Yeah.
bringing that vibe to anybody. There might be a collab later this year. I don't know. I haven't committed yet. It'd be like late August to September. It'd be a small party, but my plan is to come back in 2027. Because what I was gonna say is in 2019 we started Elevated Social in 2020. A year later we got hit with COVID and we pivoted, and that's something I talk heavily about now in my community and now what I drive my force towards through my new YouTube channel. I think D Squad dropped it over here. And default behavior is like I love my cannabis community. I love my gromies. I love my homies. But and as I was saying to you guys, there's so many different facets of Trey. It's not just a cannabis grower. It's not just a cannabis shop.
Yes.
I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm a brother, I'm a human who's trying to exist in a world full of chaos. And while we all cope with this very important, beautiful miracle plant, you're not always able to self soothe with that. You have to be able
Right.
to have a good, positive mentality in order to rise
100%.
above a lot of shit. And
Yeah.
I'm not naturally a positive person, so I am constantly in practice of that. So, default out there, shout out to her. She came to the grill and show. She talked about my morning messages on Instagram.
I love them, man.
So
They're awesome.
I'm just trying to tell people, hey, every day is an opportunity. Every day is a choice. What are you going to make of it today? And I'm obviously, like, when I think of myself telling people this, I'm like, I don't know if I'm the guy to be telling you this, because obviously I'm not like, I don't know
No,
everything. But I'm just
you're
trying
the
to
exact
tell
guy to
people.
be telling people this, because like you said, you're not necessarily the most positive person in the world. So it's making you change your way of thought in order to even make these videos, and in order to even say these things, to make them come out of your mouth, you know. Um
Exactly.
and in order, especially when it comes to content too, like when you're making a video about it, people see right through shit. So if you don't look like it's believable, then people move on. But 100% your videos look believable, you know. So when I watch your videos, I'm like, man, all right, Trey started his day off good. I guess I can start mine off good too. Let's go, you know.
Hell yeah. Yeah, well, I get a lot. I mean, and some of it is random, but this is the thing that kind of always, I mean, I suppose I wish I was more enthralled with different riches, but to me, it's a more enrichment. I say that to say, like, just as a way of people coming back to me after years of the CLTV content and commitment and the edible recipes, all these things that come back as the good comments of like, hey man, you really helped me figure out how to make brownies, or help me to figure out my outdoor grow. You helped me with this. Those little validative words of affirmation, when I send out these positive videos to somebody, say, man, I needed to hear that today. And I hear that from people I know IRL, like people I don't, like I'm talking about like on Facebook and shit, motherfuckers I ain't never talked to in I don't know how long. They're like, thank you, I needed this. And I was like,
That's what
Oh,
I'm
you
saying.
muted yourself. You muted.
You, you muted.
oh my God, the whole time.
I think you smacked the button or something. No, it was just for like 20 seconds or something.
Okay, no, it validates the commitment. It validates the message needing to be met. It validates that more of this needs to be out, you know, and like some gromies and stuff will find me on Twitch, where we're at Tuesdays and Sundays, every Tuesday and Sunday, twitch.tv/Tr3y Strongz 420. But it's
I
like,
should have put that in the description down below.
I mean, people will find it. I posted on IG too. We got a Discord community as well. Like, and we're all about what I love about that community. I just want to speak to it a little bit. Shout out to the Vibe Tribe is,
Definitely.
and to quote a very dope member of that community, Senpai, he said, "I rather have, um, man, I don't know why, but I rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies any day." And I said, "Fuck, man,
Yep.
that." And so it may not be the biggest community. I may not have the biggest reach, but the
Yeah.
people that I am connecting with are the people I'm supposed to connect with. And the people who are in the Vibe
Exactly.
Tribe and who are in this community deep are the same people who are trying to practice what I'm preaching as I'm practicing while I'm preaching. And so say I post as much as I can, but there are days you don't see that message. And those are
Yeah.
days that I might be struggling. And those are days that the community, that energy, it doesn't die, it only transfers. So like I'm putting that out, and in those days I will get messages from the community like, "Hey man, proud of you." I will get that resurgence back and like, bro, that shit is
Picks you up.
powerful. I've been high on a lot of shit, but that not a lot of shit, a lot of weed. But like that is powerful.
Yeah.
It's
That's a different kind of higher. That lifts you right up. You could be down in the fucking basement and you get one message like that and that brings you right back up to the roof. You know what I mean? So
yep.
it means a lot for sure. But yeah, man, we're getting right to the end of the hour here. Do you want to, I mean, you kind of just did, but do you want to let everybody know where they can find you? Maybe some of the ones you didn't mention. You literally just did like 30 seconds ago, so
Yeah, I mean, I do have a YouTube channel over here now. I think they dropped that. I'm trying to grow that out. It is got a lot of food review stuff based right now on shorts because the longer form content takes a little bit longer, as you guys know. So I don't
definitely.
just want to not throw it out there, but so that's a way to stay connected. Again, for the past 4 or 5 years, I've been on Twitch streaming every Tuesday, every Sunday. uh, Tuesdays we vibe. It's kind of like Monday Junior. You get in there, you soak up those vibes to get you through your week. Sunday, as we call it, we praise the ganja gods and we reset, recharge ourselves for the week ahead. Um, and that's where a lot of that community stems from, and I'm very grateful for. I'm on Instagram. I go back and forth with that hoe though. I know. I know a lot of us have suffered victim. I lost my 5K 10-year account like 2 years ago
Yeah.
now, and I
Yeah,
really, I just have a hard time investing too much into it because you never fucking know. But I
that's
am
where
over
I'm at.
Yep.
there. I'm on Facebook too, but I haven't found a way to kind of curb that to not be such a personal doxing situation. So I'm not gonna let that one fly. But you can find me on all of those other situations. And
Cool,
I
cool.
just wanted to say to you guys, shout out to your resiliency and your perseverance and pushing forward on the path that you guys are pursuing, regardless of the obstacles and the hurdles and everything like that. Very
We
awesome to
appreciate that.
see. Proud of you guys. I appreciate you guys for wanting to host me. Shout out to everybody in the chat
Absolutely,
for
man.
pulling up tonight and spending your most expensive currency you can with me and us. Your time, effort, and your motherfucking energy. I appreciate it. You know.
Absolutely, man. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Like I
Taking the
said, man,
time. Yeah.
you're a very, in my opinion, you're a big member of this community, and you've been here for a very, very long time. You've seen a lot, you've done a lot, and you have a ton of experience here and tons and tons of knowledge. So, and not only that, but I love hearing people's stories. I love hearing where they came from, their trials and tribulations, and what got them to where they are now. So, shout out to you for doing what you do, man. I think it's super cool. And like you said, food and cannabis. And I'm gonna add one more thing, and that's music. That's another thing that you hear a song and that takes you right back to when you were 15 years old again, you know? So you combine those three things, food, music, and friends, all in a great place, and off you go, you know. So
100%, man. No, it's all a vibe. I mean that's what
100%.
this new YouTube is really skewed towards, and who I am now is just like living for the vibes. You know, like there's always going to be a blunt in my hand, but it's the atmosphere in which I'm smoking the blunt that's ultimately going to set the tone. So like,
100%.
Yes.
just for as much as I can be, I want to be in that vibe.
Definitely, man. But yeah, we won't keep you all night, but we appreciate you being here, and you're
Yes.
welcome back anytime, man. For sure.
Appreciate you.
We'll definitely
Yes,
have to get you back on for another chat, and yeah.
absolutely.
Other than that,
Maybe
man,
you guys can come over to Twitch or something, and we can come sesh over there. You guys can pump some of
definitely,
your
I'm sure we'd be
content.
down for that.
I'll
Definitely,
have
yeah.
to
Just
get
let us know.
Twitch.
Oh yeah, appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody.
Hell yeah, man. You have a great rest of your
Thank you so
evening and
much.
great rest of your week.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Peace out, brother.
Bye. That was such a great
Hell
episode.
yeah. Trey's a cool dude, man. I love talking to that guy. Like
Yes.
Minute Cannabis said, very, very mellow. Listen to Trey all day. I could talk to Trey all day. He's just one of those dudes, man. He's just super cool. But yeah, a great show. And next week we have Spartan Grown and Anything Grows coming on, Emily.
Yes.
So that's gonna be a cool show. Shoot the shit with those guys and learn about what they're up to these days.
Yes, and if you are new here, on Fridays, we do have Show Your Grow, where everyone is welcome to come on and show their gardens. We do only show one garden at a time, so you get sent to the backyard while you wait your turn. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and we love seeing everybody's gardens.
Yes. So yeah, anybody's welcome. If you got a garden, you're more than welcome to pop on. We do post the link in the chat, and you just click the link and you can come on up. So yeah, other than that, thank you everybody for being here, and see you guys Friday.
See
Have a
you
great rest of
Friday.
the week. Peace.
Bye.